Alrighty, now we're going to learn how to calculate heat loss by hand with a pencil, a piece of paper, and a calculator. Now people consider this the hard way, but it really isn't all that hard. It's just simple arithmetic. It's stuff you mastered by the 5th grade. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, plus a little practical building science that you most likely already know from years of working as a plumbing and heating professional. Even if you don't know that you already know it, I know that you know it, you know? We won't be talking about any concepts in this course that are inherently unfamiliar to you. As a heating professional, you already know, in general, why you put a heating system into a house. Houses lose heat, we have to replace it. Now we're going to figure it out scientifically, and we're going to come up with a solid estimate, grounded in facts, of how much heat we're going to lose and how we're going to replace it. The method you're going to learn is very simple, it's very reliable, and it's been proven in the field for decades. When we're done, you'll know why you do what you do, as well as how to do what you do. Now here are some key terms that you're going to need to know. You'll see that they're all in the course materials that I hope you've already downloaded. We're going to get into the details a little bit later on, but for now, let's get familiar with some of these terms and what they mean. The first term is ODT, or Outdoor Design Temperature. This is the theoretical coldest day of the year for a specific geographic area. Now that's based on ASHRAE's 90A-1980 standard. Now according to the standard, the design outdoor temperature would be the same or less than the actual outdoor temperature 97.5% of the time. We'll get into the details of that later. Next term, IDT, Indoor Design Temperature. This is your target temperature for the house. How warm do you want the structure to be for inside comfort? For most people, that's around 70 degrees, more or less. Next is DTD, Design Temperature Difference. That's the difference between the two. It's between the temperature of the coldest day of the year outdoors and where you want the temperature to be indoors. U value is a measure of a material's ability to conduct heat, and that's measured in BTUs per hour per square foot of area per degree temperature difference. R value is the opposite of U value. R value is a measure of a material's ability to resist the flow of heat. In other words, how well does that material prevent the transmission of heat from one side of the material to the other? Now technically, R value is the inverse of U value, and U value is the inverse of R value. So mathematically speaking, 1 divided by R equals U, and 1 divided by U equals R. They're two sides of the same coin. If you know one, you can figure out the other one. Next term is infiltration heat loss. Now this is a measurement of the BTUs lost due to heated air leaking from inside of the house to outside of the house through cracks, crevices, around windows, etc. That heated air that leaks from the inside to the outside has to be replaced by the same amount of cold outside air infiltrating from outside to inside. Now that cold air has to be heated back up, obviously. Transmission heat loss is the heat lost via conduction through the building materials of the structure, through doors and windows and through the walls. Next term is BTU. A BTU is a British thermal unit, and that's the measurement of heat energy. It's the amount of heat needed to raise 1 pound of water 1 degree Fahrenheit in 1 hour, technically speaking. This is another one of those details you can forget if you want, as long as you know that BTUs are the common units we use in heat loss calculation. Now the more important term is BTUH. That's BTUs per hour, and it's a measurement of heat flow. Now heat loss is actually flow. It's the flow of heat out of the structure from inside to outside. When we know the BTUH heat loss, we know how much heat we have to replace per hour to keep the occupants comfortable. Now you can review these terms at any time in the glossary for the course. Now before starting the next lesson, make sure you have a piece of paper and a pencil handy. You're going to need it. And when you do, we'll go on to the next lesson.